South Carolina on some other shit
Yeah.
because they don't even have a statewide hate crime statute. If you commit a crime against me, isn't it already hate? I was like, no.
No. Sometimes and that is something you're gonna have to interrogate within yourself. Like that, I can't help you with that. If that's why we say Black Lives Matter, y'all. Not at the grocery store, not at church, not anywhere. You can't stand on the side of the road waiting to go to work. You can't be anywhere and be safe in a Black body.
But a Black man named Jarvis McKenzie was shot at by a white man while he was waiting to go to work in South Carolina, leading to renewed calls for statewide hate crime legislation. McKenzie survived the attack, and local ordinances, that word, limited in their penalties, are currently the only tools for hate crime charges in South Carolina, which remains one of only 2 states without a statewide hate crime law. So
Yeah.
I was talking to a person about this yesterday because they were talking about the stabbing and the killing on that train.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought up this story. And I was like, yeah, South Carolina, because they were bringing up how the prosecution wasn't giving the family information. And I was like, yeah, South Carolina on some other shit because they don't even have a statewide hate crime statute.
Yeah.
Then they
now,
tried to...
the other state, Wyoming, I kind of
I was going to get to that later.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
I was going to get to that later. But so I was telling a woman the story, and she was like, I don't even understand why we have hate crime laws. And I was like, excuse me? She was like, yeah.
You already lost me.
Right. But her rationale was even dumber.
Okay.
It was, if you commit a crime against me, isn't it already hate? I was like, no.
Sometimes you just owe me money.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm like, no, a hate crime has to do. I was like, you don't understand what a hate crime is. So for everybody out there who's probably want to say the same thing that she did, because, people don't ever want to say, well, they got killed because of their race or gender. It had nothing to do with that. No, it had absolutely everything to do with that. So a hate crime is a criminal offense such as assault, vandalism, or murder that is motivated by bias against certain characteristics of the victim, including their race, ethnicity, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, or disability. So it's not solely, people say hate crime, it's always black and white. What about when Black people kill white people? First of all, I'm going to get into crime statistics later, but did that Black person kill the white person because they were white? Or did they kill them because they owed them some money? There's a difference there,
There's a lot of reasons.
And that can be a hate crime as well under hate crime laws, if that were the case. So it's not purely about racial. It's about gender and sexuality. Well, I don't even agree with the sexuality and the gender. What about disabilities? What about if somebody was out here killing folks because they was in wheelchairs? You wouldn't consider that a hate crime? Oh, well, I mean, yeah, okay. So you just want to pick and choose what you decide to do.
Which communities you think deserve victimhood.
Right.
And that is something you're going to have to interrogate within yourself. Like that, I can't help you with that. If that's why we say Black Lives Matter, y'all. That's why we say it. Because you all pick and choose which communities you think deserve to be victims. And if it's a community you don't think deserves to be victims, y'all come up with every excuse in the book as to why the harm or even the murder of someone is potentially justified just because of the community that person belongs to. The reason why hate crimes are more harmful than that same crime without
than a non-hate crime.
Right. Is because not only do they target the victim, but they also target the community that victim represents. So not only are you harming that victim, you're threatening an entire community. And that's putting a bunch of people now on the defense, right? It's impacting the safety of an entire community. So there is a significant reason why hate
There's a
crime
correlation.
legislation is
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
So in this particular case with Jarvis McKenzie, I'm going to paraphrase the story. So he was waiting outside in the same spot that he's been waiting to get picked up to go to work for decades, right? White man pulls up in a pickup truck, pulls his rifle out, takes a shot that goes above Mr. McKinney's head, and says to him, "You better get running, boy." Basically, like, why are you in this neighborhood?
Right.
Security footage captured the event, and the perpetrator was charged under county level hate crime laws. However, they only carry misdemeanor penalties of up to a month in jail.
Right.
This is the reason why we have hate crimes in 48 other states, because when somebody takes a shot at another person based off of their race, ethnicity, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, or disability, that crime should be escalated and the penalties should be escalated because it's attacking an entire community. So there is a push in the state to make a statewide hate crime law in South Carolina. Like I said, certain jurisdictions have ordinances. Look, y'all, I just
that
can't
was
say that
actually
word.
the best like pronunciation that you've had so far.
Yeah, I mean, but hey, we're grading on a severe curve, but we're getting there. And and Mr. McKenzie has become an activist and trying to push for a statewide hate crime law. About 20 local governments have passed their own ordinances, but these are only misdemeanors and only carry minimum sentences. This is the same state that Dylan Roof went into that church.
I was just about to miss.
And massacred the people. That's all the more reason that you need to have hate crimes. There was a reason why there was a Stop Asian Hate. There was some violence that was being done towards the Asian community throughout the nation. Those are hate crimes. If you attack somebody because of their sexual orientation and gender, you might not like it, doesn't give a damn. You can't attack them for it. And if you do, it's a hate crime. So, yes. So I thought this was an interesting story, and I want to get some more of your thoughts on it because I'm going to paint a picture of why there's been an escalation of hate crimes over the last, let's say, 8 years. But just your thoughts on just a man just waiting to go to work.
Yeah.
A taxpayer, minding his own damn business. Dude roll up in a pickup truck, point his rifle outside the window, shoots at him, says, "Get out of here, boy."
Yeah, this is not an uncommon occurrence. We just don't always call the police.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest, this is not an uncommon occurrence. And since the Black Lives Matter movement has brought a lot of these cases to the fore, what we just know to be true is that existence in a Black body anywhere is unsafe. Not at the grocery store, not at church, not anywhere. You can't stand on the side of the road waiting to go to work. You can't be anywhere and be safe in a Black body. Now what we are seeing with these blatantly racist immigration laws and is that you can't be in a brown body and exist anywhere. Not even at the courthouse for your immigration hearing. It can't exist anywhere. And so the critics who argue, according to Associated Press, that a bill imposing harsher penalties for hate crimes is divisive or duplicative and they say that like existing laws are sufficient if judges impose maximum sentences when hate is a factor. These are not people who are taking in the totality of really what's involved when someone harms another person due to bias, right? Like, it's like I said earlier, it's not just the victim who suffers, it's the entire community that they belong to. And Mr. McKenzie still lives in fear, right? Because there is no meaningful reform that can give him any kind of sense of safety. And he's not the only one. We just have his name. He's not the only one. South Carolina Governor Harry McMaster, who's also a former prosecutor, maintains that current statutes allow for harsh punishment and fears a hate crime law would involve policing thought rather than conduct. Listen to me. Listen to me right now. We are policing the conduct and the impact, the emotional, societal, cultural, the community impact. I don't care about anybody. Listen, most people's thoughts are biased. I would say 100% of people's thoughts are biased.
Yeah.
But when you start to act on that bias, yeah, we're gonna police the conduct and the impact.
Join the conversation and follow the Unsolicited Perspectives podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts.